My exclusive interview with President Donald J. Trump. Sean, you have done quite a bit of decorating since I've been here last. Great to see you, SIR. President Trump, I thought maybe it would be 10 or 15 minutes, but you do that to me every once in a while. Sean, I think I was pretty clear, but thank you for your time, we always appreciate it. There is really not much in the news, so there's not a lot to talk about, but let's start with Venezuela. Narco-terrorist indicted, losing 200 Americans per day to drugs. Walk U.S. through this decision in Venezuela. President Trump, it was not a hard decision. Democrats wanted him and Republicans wanted him, and nobody had what it takes to get him, did not want to get him, I don't know, something happened. But he killed a lot of people, sent a lot of bad people into our country, emptied his prisons into the United States, and put his mental institutions and insane asylums into the United States. Did a lot of very bad things, but he was a big drug pusher. You see that because all of the boats we shot down, they came out of Venezuela. A lot of boats and a lot of drugs and very few boats operating right now. You can't find any boats. Sean, I don't think anyone would go fishing Bethune, not anymore. We knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by water. And we are going to start now hitting land with regard to the cartels. The cartels are running Mexico. It's very sad to watch, see what happened to that country, but the cartels are running and killing 250, 300,000 in our country every single year. The drugs, it's horrible, it's devastated families. You lose a child or a parent, parents are dying too with drugs. So we have done a really good job, we are knocking it down, the numbers are really getting to be, they are always going to be too high if you have one person, but they are going down, just like the border. The border was a total mess for years. I did some first time very quickly, and this time I did it even better because this was a bigger mess. This was a border like no other probably in the history of the world. There's never been a border like that one, anyone could walk into the country. Sean, the border is ostensibly closed now. President Trump, nobody comes, nobody even tries. The people in Texas, Arizona, all of these places that won by such a big numbers, they are so happy with the border, they had homes that they were not even able to live in, everyday people were knocking on their door, every hour. And it's just a great honor to be involved within the ICE and Border Patrol, and all of the people have been so good, Tom Homan, Christie and OEM. People have done such an incredible job, you have no idea. Sean, you've made a number of profound announcements and then a new announcement today. Announcement number 1 was 30 to 50 million barrels of oil that they will be handing over to you, and you will sell it on the market prices. That money will be used for the people of Venezuela and the people of America at President Trump, correct? Sean, then you made an announcement yesterday that they will buy all of their goods from this country. Today, we learned that the holdovers, since Maduro is gone, have agreed to free all of the political prisoners. President Trump, right? Sean, it indicates they want peace with Donald Trump to me. President Trump, we asked them to do that and they have been great, they really have been. Everything we have wanted, they have given us. We want in, we took Maduro out. Amazingly, nobody was killed, we did not lose a soldier. We had some people wounded, but we did not lose a soldier. A couple of very brave helicopter pilots were wounded pretty badly, but they are good, they are in good shape. It was an amazing attack. The other side was lost a lot of people unfortunately, but, their house was in the middle of a fort with thousands of people and soldiers and everything else, and we went right into the middle of a fort. Who would think you could do that and not lose anybody? But they had it planned so beautifully. General Raising Cane and Pete Hegseth were fantastic. Marco has been doing a great job, the vice president, the whole group, is a fantastic group. Sean, let's talk a little bit about you make these decisions. I don't care if it's this case, Operation Midnight Hammer. In the one case, you are here in the White House in the Situation Room watching this unfold in real time. In this case you have operationally the same thing, the Situation Room in Palm Beach and Mar-a-Lago. You make that ultimate call, you are the commander-in-chief. President Trump, right? Sean, you are watching it unfold in real time. What is that like? President Trump, well, I've done it now quite a bit. Soleimania, that was a big deal. A very big deal. Middle East. He was very bad to people, killed a lot of people. Everybody you see, just about 95% of the people you see walking around without legs, without arms, that was the roadside bomb, that was his baby, he loved it. We took him out. We took out the founder of ISIS, we did Midnight Hammer, which was obliterate the Iran nuclear threat and was a total up-alliteration. As they found out, the B-2 bombers, the best pilots in the world. They did that at night with no moon, totally dark. Every bomb went right down an air shaft deep into a granite mountain. It was amazing. We did this and it's similar in a way. I don't know, this seems to have gotten the imagination, maybe even more than the other ones, but I think they are very equal in many ways. But I don't know, maybe taking out the nuclear threat from Iran, it's very important. But in terms of captivating attention, this seems to be something that is beyond anything that anybody has seen. Sean, especially the operational details. President Trump, and the bravery involved. To have people coming and going into an army fort with, thousands of soldiers, land a helicopter right in the middle of it, break down a steel door because, it was a fortified house, break down a steel door, run through the hallway shooting and come out one guy who was not quite able to get into his safe house. There is a safe, Sean, I heard they got to him within 3 minutes. President Trump, it was so fast. I mean, nobody has ever seen anything like it. But the safe house was not safe because they had blowtorches that go through steel like it's broader. They did not have to use them, but these are great people, really brave people. Even coming down ropes off the helicopter. I was thinking to myself, I wonder if I could do that, I'm going to have to give it a try sometime. They do it like it's a stairway, like a beautiful stairway. They were on the ground instantly and they are ready for action. These are brave people. We have the greatest soldiers in the world, the greatest equipment in the world, nobody can match US. I rebuilt the entire military during my first term. Biden gave him a bit away, a lot of it, but not a lot relative to what I bought. But he gave a big chunk to Afghanistan, which was just insane. That was one of the most embarrassing moments in the history of our country. This was the opposite. This was a total, if you think about Jimmy Carter with the hostages or you think about the Afghanistan disaster that we had not so long ago with Biden where it was just mass confusion and the death of 13 great soldiers who I got to know the families very well, great people. But also when nobody talks about 48 people so badly injured and hundreds of people dead. Hundreds of people. I count the other side, but there were hundreds of people killed all because of an incompetent group of politicians and generals and people that should not be there. Sean, let's talk a little bit, maybe an underreported story, but we know for a fact that both the Russians and the Chinese provided missile and ballistic missile systems. They helped Iran and they helped Venezuela. But you were able to dismantle that. You talked a lot about American military superiority, and then that goes into the issue you raised this week of raising the budget for 2027 from $1 trillion to $1. $5 trillion. President Trump, we need it, when you look at the threat out there. We have the best equipment in the world, we make the best equipment in the world. There is nothing even close. But we need it because there are some real threats out there. Sean, yeah. I think we certainly do. Let me ask you about this, and I think this is important. With every military operation comes risk, and you have to obviously weigh that risk. And I think Americans would want to know what goes into your thinking because there's a whole new military doctrine, I call it the Trump doctrine, I think it's widely misunderstood. No forever wars, however that does not mean you don't use the might and power of the U.S. military. You mentioned al-Baghdadi, Soleimani, at the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan, the ISIS caliphate, and taking out Iran's nuclear weapon sites and now our hemisphere. Are you calling it the Monroe Doctrine? President Trump, it was the Monroe Doctrine, but now they call it the Monroe Doctrine, which is a sickly safety for this part of the world. Yeah, it's pretty simple. We don't want drugs pouring into our country, we don't want bad people coming into our country like happened for 4 years under Biden, who was a disgrace, worst president in history of our country, horrible. We had some other bad ones. Obama was a terrible president, the divisiveness and the hatred that was caused. Many other people allowed into the country. But what Biden did was a step beyond anything anybody has ever done. We had millions of people pouring through the border, now we have nobody coming in unless they come in legally. Sean, let's talk about you said for the interim you will be in charge. Okay. Obviously the remaining leadership underneath Maduro, they have made I mentioned earlier, 3 major concessions. Barrels of oil, purchasing goods from America, now they are releasing political prisoners. What is your ultimate goal for the governance of Venezuela? President Trump, prisoners and nobody thought they would ever see them again. Being released. In many cases good people is what I understand. Prisoners nobody ever thought they would be released. So we are going to be working with them in leadership of the country and so far we've been working very well. We've picked up the Russian freighter that was out there. Sean, I wanted to ask you about that. President Trump, they had some Russian ships carting it and they decided not to mess around with US and we took that one, it's unloading the oil. We are taking billions and billions of dollars worth of oil and it will be hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars. But we are going to be there until we straighten out the country. We will see how the country is doing but we will be running the oil. We are meeting tomorrow with all of the big oil executives, right here in the White House. We will meet with the biggest oil people in the world, they are all coming here, the top 14 companies are coming here, they are going to go in, they are going to rebuild the whole oil infrastructure. They are going to spend at least $100 billion and it's an unbelievable oil that they have had an unbelievable quality of oil and amount of oil. Sean, when they nationalized the oil industry in Venezuela, going back to the 1920s, American companies had invested billions. President Trump, we built it. Sean, all of it. President Trump, and then it was taken away. Sean, stolen. President Trump, stolen from US and taken away years ago over a period of time but it was taken away in the early 2000s, even beyond that, by the early 2000s. And I just took it back. Sean, I can't imagine them being able to they have the largest oil reserves in the world. I can't imagine without American investment, ingenuity, engineering and our assistance that they would ever be able to tap into the vast resources that they have. Again, the largest in the world. So that will be a big part of it. What does that mean in terms of America's new partnership with Venezuela? President Trump, it means lower oil prices all over the world which is great for everybody. It means lower oil prices to America. Don't forget, I inherited a mess. They talk about affordability, there was no affordability under Biden, he had the worst inflation in history, the highest and worst inflation in history. Prices were through the roof and I'm fixing it. I inherited a mess. I say it all the time, because people don't understand, I inherited a mess. Open borders, millions of people in this country that should not be, we are moving them out pretty rapidly too. Murderers and drug dealers and just some of the worst people in the world came in not only from Venezuela, from all over. The Congo sent US tremendous numbers. I don't know what it is with the Congo, they open their jails and they walk into our country, they drive them up to our front entrance, they get out and walk into our country. And these are tough hardened criminals, these are real criminals and from many countries. They came from Africa, they came from the Middle East, they came from South America. But a lot came from Venezuela. He opened his prisons and sent all of the people from his prisons into the United States. Why not? I would do the same thing. You take the people, they are nothing but trouble for you and they are killers and they are the worst people that you can imagine. I mean some of the crimes are so bad you would not believe it. We just accepted them into our country. Nobody did anything about it. So we are getting them out. Washington, D.C., as an example. It was very dangerous and now it's very safe. Everyone is coming to Washington. It's a very safe city now and before when I took over it was really got really bad. We had it pretty good but it wasn't really a focus because you did not hear the level of danger until my second term. My first term, we watched Washington, but it wasn't like it was a big deal. Now all of a sudden when I came I was hearing stories about the kind of crime that they had here. People coming from Iowa and Indiana and great places and they end up calling their parents, your son has been killed. Does not happen anymore. We have very safe Washington, D.C., is a very safe city. We put our National Guard there. Our all-central casting. You take a look at these guys, it's great, we won the case on merit, a great victory, a courageous victory, but this country is now based on merit again. Sean, let me ask you about Maria Corina Machado. President Trump, a very nice person. Sean, she won the Nobel Peace Prize. When she accepted that Peace Prize, she dedicated it to you. She said to me this week both on TV and radio that she wants to give the Nobel Peace Prize, or Nobel Peace Prize to you. For liberating her country. In 2023 she became the leader of the opposition. Maduro kept her off the ballot. Do you have any plans to meet with her, and would you accept the Nobel Prize he wants to hand to you? President Trump, I understand she's coming in the next week sometime, and I look forward to saying hello to her. I've heard you want to do that. That would be a great honor. I did put out 8 wars, 8 and a quarter. Thailand and Cambodia started going at it again. Sean, I will put the list up if you want. President Trump, it's a hell of a list. But I've stopped 8 wars, and I think it's been a major embarrassment to Norway. I don't know what Norway has to do with it, but that's where the committee is located. A lot of Norwegian people. And it's been a very big embarrassment to the country of Norway. Whether they have anything to do with it or not. I think they do. They say they don't. But when you put out 8 wars, and the rate usually get 1 for each war because some of these wars were going on for 30 years. India and Pakistan was ready to go at it big, and these are 2 nuclear countries. I got that one stopped. 8 planes were shot down, they were really at it, and I got it stopped. It was a big one. You look at the Congo, Rwanda and the Congo. They have been fighting for 30 years and I got it stopped. I got so many wars, that's such a beautiful thing, it makes me feel so good. Not because of a Nobel Prize.